Hey guys, welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Head. It is March 12th, 2023. I'm honestly not sure when I'll actually, how many times can I say actually, when I'll end up posting this video. We've got some corp stuff going on later on today, but I thought this might be a nice little fun video to do this morning while I'm just messing around in Eve on my day off. Um, and it's going to be kind of not really a series of videos, but I'll probably be doing multiple of these in regards to fitting out a thorax, a Galente thorax for the first time. Um, I used to fly when I used to play Vexors a lot, Vexor Navy issues. Never really messed around with the thorax too much. A similar ship to the thorax is the Stabber in my mind. That's in the Minmatar. Both have a lot of options that you can use, and it's kind of the next ship that I've chosen that I'm going to be messing around with for a long time. Um, why did I choose it? Well, number one, my character's kind of focused on Galente a little bit more than the others. Number two, I've never flown one. Number three, it leaves me the options to get started early with low skills, and as I work up, come with come up with multiple fits in my mind for multiple actions as a player um, at a basic level. In other words, the ship that I'm going to try to build today is going to be a very cheap thorax that I'm going to try to start doing level 2 missions with, because I do not have the skills yet to really fly it well. Um, but as I'm getting those skills up, I can then increase. But this is going to be just a very ugly fit that I'm going to be putting together today off the cuff just to learn from. Um, and it's really just something that maybe a new player not knowing how to fit something. I don't know how to fit this ship, so I'm just going to kind of go at it from what I've done in some of the videos I've done in the past, with looking at its description and its bonuses and its fit, and just kind of coming up with a basic, normal, boring fit. Um, After that, once I fly it for a little while, I'll be able to come up with a proper PVE fit, but the ultimate, and make that fit up, maybe do a video on that. Um, I'll do some better research and have better skills. But the ultimate goal is to have two more fits after that. And that will probably be a couple weeks down the road. These are ships that I can do two things with. One, going to abyssal space, have a cruiser that I can do that with. I've never done that before. As many things that I've done in Eve, I've never actually gone into abyssal space. And then the second one is to, and maybe the single most important ship that I can come up with, at least at these beginning stages, is the Corporation PvP fleet ship. Not a one-on-one or two-on-two ship, but a ship that I can fly with multiple other people to be more of just a tackle guy in the fleet. I don't have the skills for that yet in my mind to fly it really worthwhile, and I'll explain that here in a second. But that is the ultimate goal. But as I progress through these stages of just kind of a junk fit to a regular PVE, a junk fit that I can do really low level skill combat missions with, to a medium level PVE fit that can do maybe even level 3s, I don't know, to, on top of that, um, the Abyssal Dead Space, to the ultimate goal as I'm learning to fly the ship better and better, getting into the fleet ship that I might be able to use. And maybe I'll come up with a couple there, and I'll try to document this as I go along. So what I've done is I've actually just flown into, I just docked up in Rennes. Now, if you've ever watched, oh, and the reason, just to take a quick step backward, the reason why I say that filaments, if you've never done filaments before, and I don't know a whole lot about them, but to do a filament, you actually have to have a Tech 1 or a Tech 2 cruiser from what I understand. I mean, maybe I'm wrong with that. Maybe there's some other ones, but the basic ones you have to have a Tech 1 or a Tech 2 cruiser. So I'm building the Thorax. Now, is it the best ship for that? No, I just want to practice on that sort of thing. Maybe it is. I have no idea. But it's something to mess around with, and if any new players can watch this and learn from my mistakes, as always, um, they can do that. So, why did I fly to Rennes? Well, Rennes is one of your four major hubs. Now, it isn't the Galente hub, Dodixie. Dodixie would probably be the spot that I could get the best prices for Galente fits and hybrid weapons and stuff like that. Um, but I've flown to Rennes because I know I can at least probably get most of the stuff I need for the Thorax just to be able to get out there and shoot at stuff. I'll pay a little bit more probably for the stuff, but nothing that crazy. Um, and that said, let's get to it after I get another cup of coffee because I'm still waking up this morning. So, generally, a Thorax, and this is the other thing too, when you go to a trade hub, you're going to have more than one option to buy things. Now, right now in Rennes, your lowest price Thorax that's in station and actually within the region is at almost 12 million is. So I'm going to go ahead and actually buy one of these. Buy this just so I've got it. Now, just to show you guys why I'm not going nuts with this today and try to overfit it, yesterday, on the day before, I skilled into level 3 of Destroyer for Galente, and then went to level 1 of Cruiser Galente. Not 1, 2, or 3, or 4. I can definitely get those up quickly. The other thing that I had to do was skill into medium hybrid turrets because this ship gets bonuses to that, and that's really what you want to fit to it. The last part being that my drone skills are not the best in the world. You notice I'm on drones level 4, got 14 days for that, and then 9 days for level 5. Um, and there's even more to that as well once I go into the description of the ship. So let's go ahead and just jump in and see what she looks like here. We'll go ahead and assemble the ship here. Now what I'll do is if this runs a little bit long, over 30 minutes, we're only at 8 minutes right now. Maybe I'll do a part 2 to this. I like to cut these down. But there we go. Make active. Like I said, I'm not sure when I'm going to post this. This could be posted like 3 days from now. I have no idea. There we go. So this is your Thorax. Pretty cool looking ship. Like I said, I've only flown one a couple times. It has definite positives. It's a very well-rounded ship. From what I understand, there's a lot of people who really like using basic Thorax to get into PvP. I think Saber SG has done a video on the Thorax. If you want to check out PvP in faction warfare space or things like that, one-on-one PvP, I think he has one out there. So just do a search on Thorax and then Saber SG, and I think he always does some great videos. He hasn't done one in a little while, or at least I haven't noticed. But some great PvP action. He explains a lot on those. But we're not focused on one-on-one PvP. We're focused right now on just getting this ship up and running so I can fly it. I also don't know if there's a few little skills that I need for this. So we're going to just take a quick look at it. This is kind of the first time I've looked at it in a while. I did take a brief look at it the other day to see. I knew I needed to get the hybrid turrets. And I noticed something interesting about the drone bays. So we'll get into that here in a second. But number one, it is a cruiser. It's one of your most basic cruisers that you can have. And then to get the medium hybrid turret, you have to skill up a small hybrid turret to level 3, and then you can do medium hybrid turret level 3. So it does take maybe a couple of days to be able to fly this if you're a new character, unless you use your free skill points. But one big bonus is per level of Galente Cruiser. I'm only at level 1 right now. I get a 5% bonus to damage, which I always like, from the hybrid turrets. Every level, I also get a 7.5 bonus to hybrid turret tracking speed. This is huge for me for the fact that it will allow me to not miss other guys as much. Because if you miss somebody, it doesn't matter how much damage you're doing. If you miss them, you're not doing any damage. So I really like both of these bonuses. It's very, very simple. Um, and there's other skills that I definitely need to work on as far as my gunnery and stuff like that, being a new character that I created here about a month ago. But it's all good. So let's see here. The description: Thorax class cruiser is the latest combat ship committed. It's not the latest. This ship's been around for a long time. Um, they should kind of update these, by year. I guess the Eve world, New Eden's been around for thousands of years, so maybe not. While the Thorax is a very effective ship at range, typical of modern Galite design philosophy, it is most effective when working at extreme close range, where its blasters and hordes of combat drones tear through the even toughest of enemies. So I used to not read these descriptions a lot, but sometimes you can get a little bit of a hint of how to basically fit out a ship. Doesn't mean you have to fit it out this way, but as a new player, sometimes it's good to read these things. I'm looking at close range blasters, drones it's talking about there. So whenever I go to buy some guns for it, I'm going to look for blasters. Attributes. Now this is the second part that I notice. And now I always like to look for how many drones it can fly, whether it's shield or tank based, and some other small things, but we'll keep it simple here. Um, and we'll look here at number one. We'll come back up to the top here in a second. But I look at, it's got a shield capacity of 1300 with a little bit of base value is 1200. And then it's got an armor capacity of 1900, a base value of 1600. So it looks like they're wanting you to armor tank this more so than um, shield tank it. Now, here's the question though: if you're doing both drone damage and hybrid gun damage, then you want to look at how many, and they also want you to armor tank all three of your bonuses in there will have be in your low slots. So when you're looking at your fittings, even though I do have more armor protection, I might want to go with a shield tank. I'm honestly not sure. I haven't looked at the fitting amounts on this, but we're going to take a look at it here in a second. Before one other thing, and there's a lot of things to look for in here. You've got your armor hit point, your what types of damage resistances that each of them have, both in shields, and you can also look at your inertia modifiers and stuff like that. But we're not going to go crazy with it. The only other thing that I noticed that just jumped out at me was the fact that it's got a 50 M3 meters cubed drone bay and the exact same amount for its drone bandwidth. This is important because if you're able to fly a full flight of 5 light drones, um, then you can fit. You can. That takes 25 M3. So I could literally put in 10 light drones into here and fly 5 of them at once. Um, and that would be 25 M3 for its drone bandwidth. That sounds pretty cool because what I could do is if I'm doing PvE, I can, number one, do 2 different types of drones. I could do EM damage drones, which are the acolytes, or thermal damage with the hybrid, and then I could double that up with some warrior drones, doing explosive if I'm not mistaken, or some hornets. So I could switch the drones in and out. I could carry multiple of the same type of drones. So if I do lose some in flight by the NPCs taking them out, I can always throw some more out there. So I've got a little bit of a leeway there. The other weird one I could do is if I'm really doing PvE, do like 5 of one type of combat drone and skill up to do salvage drones and put 5 of those in there. You never know. There's a combination of light drones. But the other difference here is medium drones. If you put 5 medium drones in there, you can only have 5 in your bay. So you got to choose which ones you want. You got to choose thermal or explosive or whatever. That's all you've got. And then, but you can fly 5 medium drones at once. So this is a ship that can actually, a cruiser that can actually field 5 medium drones, which is pretty cool. Especially if you're close range with the medium drones are slower, but if you're closing that range, then you should be in pretty good shape. Now, one thing that I was thinking about too with this is with the description, um, and I might be right or wrong with this, but you know I like my afterburners over micro warp drives. But since this is saying that I need to close range with a PvE ship, if I were to go with the medium drones, which are shorter range, they're just slower. They're not shorter range, but they're slower. So they'll take longer to get in and out from your bays or dock, travel that distance. Um, the other part is if I'm doing blasters, I need to close that range. And the fact that now I'm moving up into cruiser level versus frigate and destroyer level, where that speed tank, where I might be able to get misses, it's going to be much harder for me to dodge things with the speed tank, with the afterburner. So my thought is when I go to fit the ship out, I'm actually going to do a micro warp drive so I can try to close that range quickly and then shut it off and do the transversal with my regular speed and get those blasters in there. That's the thought. That's my initial feeling on this. It might be a mistake. I'm not sure. There might be a tweak here and there that I have to do, but that's the first thought. So last part here on the description we're going to look at is fittings, what space we have. Now this is actually pretty cool. I had not looked at this yet. So you've got 5 high power slots. You can also fit 5 guns in here. Remember the bonuses are your guns. So I can go with 5 hybrid damage guns. So, and the bonuses are for that. So what I want to do with my skills, probably for this ship, is to focus on those first and at least get all of that to like level 3. Not just my hybrid weapons guns, but all of the surgical strikes and your trajectory analysis. Make sure those are at level 3 just to be able to get out there and do a little bit. But I can field 5 guns and it looks like I can do some decent damage with that. The second one here is the medium slots. I get 4 medium slots. So if you're thinking micro warp drive, I got 3 slots open there. The low slots, I'm literally looking at this for the first time in probably 8 years, is 5. So I could do 2 gun bonuses if I wanted to. Or I could do 1 gun bonus, 1 drone damage bonus, and do the armor protection, um, an armor repairer, or I could go passive. So there is a lot of room for adjustment there. So I'm probably still going to go armor tank, even though I have to do all 3 of them in the same area because I do have 5 slots to go with. Then you've also got your rigs, which we'll touch on later on. I always like to do the rigs later, as once I figure out how I want to fly a ship, because they are permanent once you put on there. And just test flying a ship is it's tough with rigs because you're doing a positive and a negative. You want to see what room you have. So let's see here. First off, let's just jump in. Before I buy anything, let's figure out a fit. And this is going to be super basic, super duper basic. Let's go hardware, hybrid. Let I pull it up? And we're going high slots, ship modification. Nope, not modification. Ship and modify. That is not what I want. Close. There we go. Let's just do it from scratch. Turrets and launchers. Then we're going to go medium. Remember, we're wanting to do close range. So we're going to do medium gallium machine gun. Oh, this is autocannons. I'm stupid. I'm doing projectile turrets. I've been doing been doing Mimitar so much. Got to go into hybrid turrets. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go into, now we don't want rail guns. We want blasters, and we're going to go medium. And I'm going to go the most basic possible. Well, this is another this is another one to go into. There is a difference between electron, neutron, and ion blasters. You know what we're going to go with? The cheapest first. And I think that's the electron blasters. So let's check these out. There we go. I don't want to go fully into this. There are 3 different types of basic blasters for hybrid weapons. Each one of them have bonuses and negatives, and that you can probably look that up. You've also got, and then they break down even farther into your anode types and your limited types and that sort of thing. I'm going with super basic electron to start off with. If you look here, my fall off range is 5350, and my optimal range is 2200 meters. So that is very close range. I'm also going to be doubling that up with hybrid gun damage. I'm sorry, hybrid ammo. And I'm going to probably try to go with the highest powered damage, which usually is the closest range. So that range that I just showed you is going to go down. So let's go in here. We're going to say charges, and we're going to say hybrid charges, and we're going to go to medium. Antimatter is your closest range but highest damage that you can do. So I'm going to drop that right in here. Let's see what that does. How much damage can I do right now? I'm going to show you here. I have the worst skills possible for this. I've got, for gunnery, where's my gunnery? Yeah, alphabetical. I can go alphabetical. I've got hybrid turret, medium hybrid turret 1, obviously. And then all of these are my basic. I haven't skilled these up at all, so they started at 2. So rapid firing and sharpshooter is at 2, and gunnery is still at level 4. So a lot of bonus, a lot of things that I can increase here to do stuff with. So this is going to be your base model. But even with that, I've already got 96 DPS. Not bad. Not bad. So here's the second part. You always want to, when I'm making a ship for the first time with no general idea, I'm just trying to do some damage. Why not put all the damage on there first? So all I'm going to do here is your antimatter does thermal damage and kinetic. So I am going to go by some kinetic drones. Where are we here? Do, 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 do. Do I need modules? Ah, drones. There we go. And I'm going to throw in 5 Hornets because now I can only fly 3 of them right now. Later on today I'll be able to fly 4, and then down the road I'll be able to fly 5. But without any bonuses there, I'm up to 136.1 DPS. So remember I was talking I need to be armor tanked and then do a bonus of a drone damage and a bonus of my hybrid damage. So I'm going to throw one in here, one in here. I'm going to do an armor repair here, and I'm going to throw in a micro warp drive. And that is going to be the base fit that I'm going to fly out with. I have so many openings here that I can add things into, but before I do anything else, I want to try it out and see how it works before I go any farther, because by limiting myself, I can see how different things are working well together. So, and then I can add on, and then once I finish out all those spots, I could then start switching out some things versus, let's say I threw in two drone damages, but I didn't know how much that affected because they do stack. So I'm going to keep it simple. So let's go, we're going to go our micro warp drive first. It's going to be 50 mN. It's going to be a medium one. Click that off. I'm going to go with a basic micro warp drive. So that'll help me to close the range. And then I'm going to put on a drone damage amplifier. So that, remember, I'm at 136, throwing one drone damage, basic drone damage on here. It's going to get me to 142. And then now I'm trying to remember if it's the gyro stabilizer. I know there's heat sinks do bonuses to your lasers. And then the gyro stabilizer, I can't remember if it does it to projectile or to your hybrid. So let's try gyro stabilizer 1. Is this for hybrid? Please tell me it is. I can't remember the other one off the top of my head right now. Projectile turrets, of course. So we gotta now. I haven't woken up yet, and I haven't fitted out a hybrid ship for a while. So we're gonna do turrets, and then we're gonna do weapon upgrades, ballistic control systems, gyrostat heat sinks, magnetic field stabilizers. That's what it is. That is your bonus to your guns here. So I'm going to throw in just one of these. There we go. And now we're up. So before I put that on, I was at 142. Throwing one on gave me another 15 points of DPS. So if you notice, by throwing on the drone damage, I only got about a 6-point bonus. Throwing on the magnetic field stabilizer got me 15. Now, one little caveat to that, I'm not sure if the drone damage is being calculated by the fact that I can only fly 3 of them, or if it's doing all 5 possible. I don't know if it will tell me here. 5 active, yeah, it doesn't really. So if that's something you guys know is a difference or not, I'm not sure. And then I'm going to go ahead and do an medium armor repair here. So armor and spell repair. I'm going to go with super basic. Here we go. We're going to go medium armor repair 1. There we go. So I've got my propulsion, I've got my damage, and I've got my tank. A lot of spaces to work here. Do I throw on, depending on if I'm doing the combat missions, do I throw on different types of resistances here? Do I throw on more magnetic field stabilizer so I do more damage? Up here, do I throw on something else I'm not 100% sure with? Then once I get these filled in, then I usually try to use my rigs to fill in those gaps or accentuate some things. I can increase my damage, I could do more armor, something along those lines. So, but that's where I'm at right now. It's a good time to stop. We're at 29 minutes. So I'll be creating the ship and flying it. I'll probably do a video in the next couple of days all with a review of what I learned from this and then an upgrade to this ship. But appreciate you guys watching. I'll try to get out of here. I'm not going to drag this on too long. I really like doing these videos. They're kind of fun because I kind of do them off the cuff and I don't know what I'm getting myself into. So that's all I got for today. Hope you have a great day. And I will talk to you later. and saying hi to my court mates. So fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however like you want. I will talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye bye.